Market manipulation in one of my Hot 10 videos? How is that possible? Honesty, integrity, telling the truth. And I'm telling you the truth right now when I say it's pretty easy to manipulate the reserve list. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. Hard to believe that all it takes is a $100 bill and the will to succeed to start changing people's minds about certain cards on the reserve list. Imagine diving in with $100 and saying, I'm going to buy all these 50-cent reserve list cards. Next thing you know, the price, peaks up a little bit. And then somebody else sees that and says, you know what, maybe I'll get that card. Maybe I'll dive in on that card. And they spend $50 and somebody else buys. And then before you know it, that's FOMO. And we're back to 2021 when craziness started ruling everything going on the reserve list. The sales were out of this world. I was brand new on YouTube making videos going, what is going on? This has never happened. But now, each and every week, we bring you a Hot 10 video on the reserve list cards. We let you know how the market is kind of cruising along right now, but there have been upticks. We've been noting it over the last several weeks that although the market is kind of crazy out there in the real world, people are slowly dripping money back into reserve list cards, just ever so slowly. But with enough people doing it on certain cards, even if it's just for fun, some of these cards are bound to spike. We're bound to see some unusual activity that is not the norm. And we've got that today. We've got some stuff to go over, some crazy card sales on the reserve list. And remember, there's only so many out there. I'll follow that up on Monday's video, though. You guys can watch that then. All right, guys, let's check out what market manipulation looks like. Coming in at number 10 this week is Bayou Revised Edition. Now, this card had 28 sales from the 18th to the 23rd of February. And remember, in today's video, all prices are in US dollars. It has an all-time high of $649 April 2021, but the all-time low for this card, $65.53 way back in June of 2012. That's 11 years ago. Look at that all-time high. Look at the low. That's almost 10% a year. And of course, the current price right now is $410 US, which means it's about 20% off its original all-time high. And that's kind of crazy to think that it hasn't fallen more, but it's a Bayou. What are you going to say? It's amazing. Now, the number 9 card this week is Wheel of Fortune. Okay, guys, at 30 sales this week and an all-time high of $1,999.75 way back in 2021. And I know the person who bought it. I remember seeing that spike and getting that email. I bet you they're kicking themselves. I got to contact them and find out. But Wheel of Fortune had an all-time low of $9.07 in September of 2012. And the current price tag is $328.28 for a revised Wheel of Fortune. And people can look back and go, I remember paying $5 for this card. $5. And look where we are now with a card like this. When you look at old cards, some will drop more than others, but the value is just almost always there in the long term if you hold on to your reserve list cards. That's why we say hold the line. Now, the next card today is Thrall Champion. That's right, Fallen Empire's coming back to get you. 32 sales this week with an all-time high of $10.50 in December of 2021 and the all-time low of 32 cents April 2016. The current price tag, $4.41 for good old Thrall Champion. And when you look at a card like this, for me, I love Thralls. You guys know it's true. They're more fearsome than the Phyrexians, but they've never played up the power points of cards like this ever since the storyline. But a card like this could be considered broken if it does get a whole gaggle of cards that follow along in this theme, in this vein of card, where you can just tap to take control of stuff. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the next card, and that is going to be Scrubland, coming in at number 7 with 36 sales. I know dual lands are back, boys and girls. All-time high, $459.99 back in 2021. All-time low of $60.09 August of 2012. Current price, $334.10. That's for Scrubland from Revised. You look back at those old prices, you're like, man, I remember it being that cheap. Taco Bell remembers. Remember the Taco Bell dog? That's what we're talking about. Taco Bell. All right, guys. I know, can you believe it? The number 6 card. Savannah. Another dual land. just taking these spots away from people, taking it away from the other cards out there. 41 sales this week, all-time high, $412.49, 2021. All-time low, $70 way back in November of 2015. Current price tag, $356.25 for Savannah from Revised. But remember, all those cards are near mint. Any price I'm showing you guys, those are for near mint prices. You can find moderately played, heavily played, and save yourself just a gaggle of cash. You just got to be willing to wait around for it. Now, our next card today, the number 5 position, has been taken over by Soldevi Excavations again. It's the card of the channel. You are part of the tinfoil hat army of MTG Moxman if you own this card and if you send me imagery showing that you own the card. 49 sales this week, all-time high, $44.89 way back in September of 2021. The all-time low, 89 cents way back in April of 2013. Current price tag, $16.93. It's lost about 50% of its value. But it's funny how this card has not dropped further considering where it came from. An amazing card, guys. I love it. You know it's true. And remember, guys, if you're buying any of these cards on TCG Player, please remember to consider using my affiliate link. It is found in the description of every video I do. Just click on the TCG link. It takes you right there for your shopping experience. Anything you buy, the channel gets a kickback of 3.5%. So it's pretty amazing. I really appreciate those who help me out. Now let's go ahead and take a look at number 4 this week. And number 4 is a bit of a surprise, okay? I was thrown off. I didn't realize this was coming around, but it's Scorched Ruins from Weatherlight, okay? 59 sales this week. It had an all-time high of $89.94 way back in March of 2021. The all-time low, though, $2.14 way back in September of 2014. People just didn't recognize, getting 4 mana, pretty amazing, and you can get the other lands back. Current price tag, $31.24 US. That's right, you can find this card for like $19 on TCG Player for moderately played. Scorched Ruins, guys. Scorched Earth Policy. Cards like this, they're going to see gains again. I've noticed a lot of these sales this week are focused on reserve list lands. That tells me people are kind of realizing things aren't going to stay this low and they're starting to solidify position. The number 3 card this week is Didgeridoo with 67 sales. Now, an all-time high for this card, $59.99, January 2021. We're talking almost 2 years ago, guys. The all-time low, 69 cents, September 2012. And the current price, $13.76. Look how cheap this card is. I've spoken about this card, and I really don't think most players realize that there's only so many out there. And yes, this card has a massive print run. It's an overprinted set in Homelands. But compared to anything nowadays, this is a finite resource. We're gonna cover some of this in Monday's video, but it's crazy to see a card like this that cheap, and that's Didgeridoo. Now let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the number 2 card this week. Kind of a surprise for a lot of people out there, and that's right. We are talking Glacial Crevasses, okay? The number 2 card with 121 sales. All-time high, $12.46, pardon me, February of 2021. All-time low, 26 cents, March 2017. Much tighter clothesline there. And of course, the current price is $3. Now, this is one of those cards most people kind of forget about. They forget that some snow-covered stuff is just best left alone. But when somebody can mix this things into a deck and make some funky, janky Commander fun deck or some kind of tabletop match, this thing's hilarious to play with, okay? I've used it numerous times. Great card. Very cheap, and somebody said, hey, for like $1 a copy, why not dive into that? But now you've waited, guys. You've made it all the way. You said, what? Just get to it. What's the number 1 card? Oh, you guessed it. It's Xanax Statue again from Weatherlight. This thing refuses to die, okay? It's a statue. It's coming back for you. We're talking like way back, like Pitfall video game from Atari in the 80s, guys, and that's where we're at. It has 126 sales this week, and of course the all-time high was $6.62, April 2021. All-time low, 26 cents, March 2017. Current price tag of $1.85. This is where things can get a little nutty, because when you see how cheap some of the reserve list cards are out there, even if it's not a great card, pure junk. But somebody goes, I can buy like 50 copies for like 20 bucks. And you look at a new Magic product, you're like, I can't even buy one collector booster put out by Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Those price-sensitive players, they can't afford it. But you could dive in on a whole bunch of shoddy, low-end reserve list cards and just say, hey, at least I bought something on the reserve list. Wizards better fix this soon. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here. This was your Hot 10. Looking forward to discussing this whole market thing in tomorrow's video. I look forward to seeing you guys all there. 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. And of course, it's a Sunday when this video comes out always. So that means it is time for the live stream this evening, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time for my live streams. Look forward to seeing you there because some patron's going to win some reserve list cards. Who will it be? I don't know. We're going to find out though. I'll see you guys then. Ah, the fantastic patrons of the Moxman's channel. All right, patrons, thanks again for being here. Thanks again for all that support. Without these patrons, this content wouldn't be happening. The Moxman's channel wouldn't exist at this point. Thanks again to the awesome patrons. See you soon. So, yeah, I went and saw Ant-Man 2, Quantumania, and I gotta be honest, loved it. Amazing film, so much fun. I thought Kang was a perfect villain, but I can't explain to you how upset Minimox was that the guy with like the flashlight head died. He thought that character was so cool with the big like laser beam. He thought he was amazing. He goes, they didn't have to kill him. What? I know, if it's a spoiler, I'm sorry. It's a spoiler, but that's what happens. It happens here. You're at the end credits. Crazy stuff happens here. But thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Great movie, great film. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it leaves the door open to so many things, so many possibilities for Marvel. Let's hope they capitalize on it. Thanks again for being here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Reserve list cards, man. Whew. I'm liking what I see. I like what I see.